guys and gals, now we're here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Leigh's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. I can actually start turning the music up now, because YouTube's AI tools allow me to more easily remove copyrighted songs, so, yep. Should be able to enjoy music more often now. Alrighty. Not wanting to let Leigh do all the work, I push back against him until it isn't just my butt up against him, but my entire back is grinding against him. There we go. Now you're getting it. Am I doing it right? You're a natural. His praise is already enough on its own, but the growl that accompanies it is just as encouraging. It makes me want to keep going, to take us further and further, to lose ourselves in the beat. Next thing I know, the two of us are dancing together as one. There's no awkward tension between us or any part of ourselves we're trying to hide. It's only us, the beat, and the atmosphere of many dancers around us. As we go from song to song, we'll get more adventurous as we go. Leigh's hands explore my hips, and his nose traces the length of my neck. It's only at this moment I do regret how overdressed I am. I wonder how much Leigh would touch if I was wearing as little as he was, but then again, it wouldn't be me. There wouldn't be those tantalizing moments where my shirt rides up and I can feel just a glimpse of his exposed stomach on my lower back. The warm metal as his navel feels burning hot whenever it presses against my skin. Our combined panting only increases, and it's hard to tell whether it's from the physical exertion or the heat between us. I can feel a drop of sweat drip from his nose only on my ear, causing me to gasp. And that looks to be the final straw for Leigh. He whips me around until we're both facing each other again. I'm unable to get a single word out before he's already grabbing my hips and closing the gap between us. We're not as close as we were before, but there's an intimacy that comes from staring right at each other, seeing just what we've been doing to each other. Leigh's dripping with sweat from his drenched hair all the way down to the matted fur around his stomach, allowing me to see all the details that are usually hidden by his short fur in clear detail. His deep breaths make the muscles around his stomach even more prominent. I can't deny that all the grinding has caused my judgment to be clouded. My body feels like it's on fire, and I can feel my shirt sticking to me from all the sweat. Everwinter's not usually cold in autumn, but it would be generous to call it anything more than mildly warm. But right now, it feels like I've gone through a furnace and I don't want it to stop. It doesn't look like Leigh wants it to either, as he leans his head forward until there's only more distance between us. His eyes look like shining emeralds that I can't tear myself away from then. Neither of us would need to say anything. It's like we can reach the other's thoughts. We don't want this to stop, even if it might be a bad idea. It's impulsive and everything I've needed. From the wide grin on Leigh's face, this is everything he needed as well. Not that I needed to see anything to tell how much he's enjoying this. The iron grip he has on me is more than enough of a sign. As the next song begins and the thumping beat feels like it's pulsing through my bones, we continue our movements, but everything is more erratic and we are barely able to keep our hands to ourselves. He explores every inch of my neck with his nose, his hot breath leaving a trail along it that I'm forced to close my eyes just to lose myself in the sensations. My hands explore his shamelessly exposed body. The damp stomach feels like a fire against my fingers, one that Leigh only stokes as he pushes against my touches. My absent mind doesn't think as it brushes up against his scar, but Leigh doesn't pull away. He only growls and lashes a hand to grab my own. I expected him to pull it away, but he only encourages me to explore it further. Every time my claw grazes the damaged tissue, he lets out another gravelly growl and a hot blast of air against me, only fueling me to explore further. Y'all are gonna end up fucking. Oh yeah, he's gonna be banging you. He's gonna be putting his possum dick inside of your boy parts. Okay. My other hand trails everywhere I could. His pierced belly button, his hips that are exposed by his pants that have only gotten lower throughout the night, his chest that his damp crop top clings to. But it isn't until I explore behind him that I find another spot as my fingers trace the base of his tail, causing him to stiffen and gasp, turning our light touching into something more as he grinds himself with even more intensity. Fuck, Wallace! Too much? Fuck no. Our touching only continues as Leigh gets more and more riled up, and I can only feel myself raising to join him. It's like the club around us has entirely disappeared and it's only the two of us, except we're not anything strange. Everyone here is grinding on someone just like we are. I understand how Leigh came back here over and over again. It's so thrilling, especially with someone that makes you feel the way Leigh makes me feel. He manages to compose himself and pull away until we're staring at each other's faces again. His hair is a mess and it's fallen over his face. He looks like he's barely able to keep control, but I know he'd never take advantage of me. His eyes look closer to a wild animal, and his deep panting reminds me of an animal chasing its prey. It just makes him look like the hottest guy I've ever seen, and I want to see more of this side of him. I caress those sensitive spots I found. His eyes roll back as he gives out another primal growl before he yanks me against him and presses our lips together, causing my body to freeze and my brain to stop. Oh, fuck yes! We did it! We got it. We got him! Suddenly, neither of us are dancing anymore. We're not grinding, nor are we exploring each other's bodies. Now it's like the tension that's been bubbling between us is finally boiling over. My inexperience is vastly overshadowed by his aggression. I'm barely able to get my bearings as my head spins, and the moment my mouth opens, his tongue is thrusting itself inside to explore every inch of my mouth. His hand on my hip only grips it tighter as he pulls me against him, his other hand on the back of my neck to keep me steady as he continues his assault. I'm barely able to hold on to him to keep myself from losing my balance. It's not elegant. It's filled with raw emotion and primal need. There's no thought in either of our actions, only the desires that neither of us have been able to explore since we met on that first day. Man, this music is good. This is music you can get pregnant to. But I don't ever want it to stop. My heart's racing and I can feel my lungs burning with the need for oxygen, but I don't dare break the kiss. Who knows if we'll ever get to this point again. Except that isn't up to me. Lee's eyes widen and he yanks himself away, leaving the two of us panting, and this time I know it's not from the dancing. He looks confused and a little ashamed. Shit. Fuck me. Is everything alright? Did I mess up? No, it wasn't. Fuck me, that was stupid. Why did I do that? What did you mean? You didn't enjoy it? No, I mean, yes, I did, but I was... fuck! You didn't do anything wrong, it was all me. Lee just runs a hand across his face. I'm not able to get anything other than a few stammering words out before he's storming through the crowd. I try to race after him, but the crowds of people make traversing through the dance floor difficult. The amount of people here has grown significantly since we came. There's barely any spare room left for people. Through intense effort and a few yelps as my tail was stomped numerous times, I'm finally able to pop out the other end just to catch Lee stomping through the door with his head in his hands. I rush out the exit only to discover that the sun has fully set. Since it's a Saturday night, there's still plenty of people walking down the main street, and I'm still able to catch Lee's tail as he turns down a nearby alleyway. There's a surge of fear at the idea of going down there in the middle of the night, but I can't just leave Lee there by himself, especially after what just happened. There's clearly something wrong, and it's my job to help. I have to be the one who helps, so I still any nerves and head after him into the darkness. Moving from Bright City Street to this alleyway devoid of any streetlights. I mean, there's a light over there at least. It takes some time for my eyes to adjust, and I stumble into a nearby trash can. The whole thing crashes over with a loud clang that echoes off the walls, destroying any chance I had for a subtle entrance. I'm able to see Lee leaning with his back against the wall, his face buried in one of his hands. The only indication he heard the sound at all is one of his ears twitching, but he shows no sign of moving. He doesn't look as upset as I would have been expecting when he walked out. He just looks tired and disappointed, and I don't think it's with me. I take a few more cautious steps towards him, not out of any fear that he might lash out at me, but just so I don't give him any shocks. Clearly, whatever had just happened has him upset, even if I don't know what. I'm only able to get a few steps closer before he looks over at me with as gentle of a smile as he can muster, but it doesn't look convincing. Sorry about that, kid. I'll take you home in a second. I shouldn't have done that. Done what? Kissed you or touched you like that at all. It wasn't appropriate. Why not? Did you not enjoy it? No, I did. Damn it. Listen, this wasn't your fault. I overstepped. That's all this was. You didn't overstep. I really enjoyed it. I hoped my words would comfort him, but it only makes him run his hand through his hair, like raking his claws through it would reveal some mystical answer hidden beneath. But I can't back down now. I feel like this is my best chance to finally confront Lee about everything that's been going on between us. There's no way he can act like there's nothing, not after what just happened. I can feel my skin tingling through each strand of fur that his body touched, and I know he felt that seismic shockwaves that shot through our bodies whenever we touched. I saw it in his eyes. I can't just let this moment go. Lee, Kid, please, just hear me out. Looks like he's about to interrupt me again, but he stops himself with a torn expression before giving a nod. The emotions swirling in the green of his eyes are confusing. It's both hopeful and full of dread. I really like you. Sorry, I'm not very good at this, but you're really handsome and... Kid, this isn't a good idea. I'm sorry for what I did back there. It was irresponsible of me. Huh? Back there, I shouldn't have touched you like that. I crossed the line. But I wanted it to. I know you were enjoying it too. I could see it. I don't get it. What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? Because you shouldn't be looking at me like that. His raised voice causes me to jump and take a step back in surprise. It's full of too many emotions to put into words, but all of them are drowned in the silence that comes afterwards. The hurt that smothered every inch of his face the moment I moved away from him makes me wish I could take it back and hold my ground with as much conviction as I can feel inside. But it's clear that damage was more than enough to start the war. You should be with one of the other guys. You and Lucas are perfect for each other. That kid always brightens up whenever you talk to him. But, or shit, even Oscar would be a better fit. He might be a bit reckless, but he's a good guy deep down. Plus, he's certainly a looker. You'd have struck gold with him. But I don't want them. I'm interested in you. You shouldn't be. I'm not the kind of guy you should be with. Oh god, my voice is cracking. Why not? I could feel my face heating up for an entirely different reason than what's been causing it for the rest of the night. I could see that same frustration bubbling on Lee's as well. Because you're just a fucking kid. I'm not a child, I'm an adult. You're only a few years older than me. It's complicated. No, it isn't. I can see that sometimes you see me for me, and it's the best feeling, but then you look at me like I'm just someone to be protected. I can't be what you need. I need to take care of my sister. I don't have time for this. Lee. It's an excuse, so we both know it, and I can't bring myself to call him out on it. It's not fair to him. But it's not fair to me but it's unfair to me as well. I expect him to... He buries his face back into his hands for a moment as he takes a deep breath before walking towards me. I expect him to try and leave again, but he stops to pull me against his chest again. You shouldn't be with someone like me. I ain't worth your time. I got too many things I have to take care of. What about you? Aren't you going to take care of yourself? He stumbles away from me, looking shocked, and I know that I'm mirroring the same expression. I haven't lost my temper since that night. I begin to feel lightheaded and I have to steady myself on the wall, my eyes burning and holding back tears that I can't truly explain why they're bubbling up. It doesn't take a second for Lee to snap out of his stupor and dart to hold me steady. Shit, kid, Wallace, you doing okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I just wish you'd care more about yourself more. You're doing so much, but you're never doing anything for yourself. I brought you here, didn't I? Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. All of it. Damn, I got myself in deep, didn't I? Lee stopped meeting my eyes, but I could see the tips of his ears, turning a friendly shade of pink. There's still that mixture of frustration, but there's a playfulness infecting it. Huh? You enjoyed it that much? Definitely, I mean it. I needed my feelings to get through to him. You'd want to go back there sometime? I think so. It was kind of scary at first, and if I'm being honest, my legs feel like jelly, but I had a lot of fun. You're truly nothing like Charlie. Isn't that a good thing? I'm just me. Yeah, you are. His sentence trails off as he stares up at the night sky. Any semblance of the sun has completely vanished. Our only source of light is from the street whence we came. Let's get back to my place. It's closer. I hadn't expected it to get this late. I must have lost track of time. Does that mean you had a good time too? Despite my simple question, he hesitates because we both know what I'm truly asking here. Did he enjoy all of it? Shit. Yeah, I did. Now hold on right there. Don't get your hopes up. I'm not saying we're doing anything like that again. It feels strange to see you like that. And to me, there's still a part of you that sees you as that naive kid I first met in that university room. But I was never that kid. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll talk about this at home. You'll freeze to death in just that shirt. I glare at his exposed stomach, but he doesn't acknowledge it, opting to wrap an arm around me without a moment's hesitation. Let me keep you warm. And I'll keep you warm too. To emphasize my point, I wrap my arms around his stomach, encasing it in a small band of thick fur. I've always been fluffy, even for a weasel, so it'll keep us both warm. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. I gotta head off and meet my parents. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!